Let's go. I wake up to a little bit of drool on my pillow, feel like it's gonna be a bad day. I'm tired of shit.
Hello my fellow heroes of Lithas and welcome back to the channel. Today, we will check out the new tank champions that are called Tide Racers. As usual, we will go through their appearance, trait and skills. Let's get started today by checking out the female's appearance. So this champion is mermaid inspired or something. Like she really looks like a mermaid until you push the screen a little to see her tail. And that just instantly crumbles the entire image we created in our heads. I wonder what to call it. Half mermaid, half human. But mermaids are already half human, half fish. So then it would be 3/4 human and 1/4 fish? Okay, enough backanas. If I am to be completely honest, I find this appearance dull. That is because we already have so many fish resemblance and underwater characters from before. Can't we get a champion with, for instance, robot resemblances instead? Or perhaps a human-looking typical big bully appearance champion. Just something that's a little bit more new would be nice. Well, anyways, that was the female. It is time for us to see the male. As I thought, he's not much different from the female. Same weapon, similar design, style, and colors. I'm feeling a little disappointed, not gonna lie. Anyways, as there are not a lot of things to add about these two champions when it comes to the appearance, let's move on to the trait. The trait of theirs is called Aquatic Barrier, and this is the effect it has. For the first 10 seconds after battle starts, all allied champions' strength resistance will be increased in the front row by 20.19%. So, I guess strength attacks will not strike our champions that well in the first 10 seconds of the battle. It sounds great to have as they're tanks after all. We gotta keep in mind that this trait only goes for the front row champions though. So keeping the tank-like champions in the front row is a must for max utilization of the trait. Anyways, let us move on to the skills of our champions, starting with the male this time. The male's active skill is called Tide of Punishment. He will slam the ground to attack all nearby enemies. In this attack of his, he deals damage equal to 460% of his own strength, and he also stuns them for 1.5 seconds. The slam also creates a water puddle for 5 seconds, which increases all allied champions' strength resistance by 25% and reduces all enemies' attack speed by 30% when they are in the puddle. The strength resistance boost effect can stack with the champion's own passive skills. So, he deals damage to the enemy, stuns the enemy, boosts his allies and debuffs the enemy. On top of that, the strength resistance boost effect can also stack with the champion's own passive skill. This sounds great to be honest. It's a very balanced skill, and it may be very beneficial for the team as well. Let us see his passive skill now. The passive is called Buffering Current, and this gotta be the shortest skill description I have ever seen. This is what it says. Our champion's strength resistance is increased by 35%. So, do you remember what the active skill said? That the strength resistance boost effect can stack with the champion's own passive skills. So constantly we have 35% strength resistance on our champion from the passive skill. And when we use the active skill, the strength resistance given from there will be added to the passive strength resistance. So it's not gonna nullify or remove the passive's effect, but rather add to it. Which is good, not gonna lie. It is gonna be great having a tank with so much resistance to strength. Let us see the ultimate skill of his now. Torrent of Despair. Casting the ultimate will create a surge of torrent every 1 second at 2 random enemies' location within a certain range in the next 4 seconds. This causes the selected targets to be launched airborne, and it also deals damage equal to 300% of the caster's strength and inflicts stun on them for 1 second. His ultimate is more of an offensive skill, but he does launch the enemies away and stun them for a bit, which may delay the enemy from attacking our team. And that also gives us more time to attack the enemy. So yeah. I mean, it is good I guess, but I was hoping that it could have something additional to this. I don't know why, but the active looks more beneficial than the ultimate. Anyways, it's time for us to move on to the female counterpart, cause I don't want to make any further statements before we see both of the champions. The female champion's active skill is called Ripple of Impact. She will summon a wave of water towards the furthest enemy, which deals damage to all enemies along the path equal to 250% of her own strength. This attack also launches the enemies airborne. When the wave reaches its destination, it recedes and pulls all enemies along the path, dealing damage equal to 270% of her own strength. For every additional enemy hit, the skill's remaining cooldown is reduced by 6 seconds. So this is a damage dealing skill, which pushes and pulls the enemies and deals damage in doing so. I don't understand why this skill is purely offensive, but let's see the other skills. Maybe it is just the one case, you know. The passive is called Soothing Billow. Our champion will quickly restore 12% of her own max constitution within 2 seconds each time an active or ultimate skill is cast. When the caster's constitution is lower than 50%, the recovery effect is increased by 30%. If we somehow increase her energy gain and attack speed to a certain level, then she can actually become a really good champion. Perhaps a little bit broken. Like, imagine if she constantly uses her active and ultimate skill, like spamming it. And then even if she gets a heavy blow, when her constitution becomes lower than 50%, the recovery effect will increase by 30%. But this skill only affects her, not the allies. So yeah, before I say anything more, it is time to see the final skill now. Her ultimate is called Apocalyptic Flood. She will summon a massive wave of water from above that sweeps over the entire area and deals damage to all enemies equal to 650% of her own strength. This attack also inflicts stun to them for 5 seconds. The damage and stun effect will decrease with distance, but not lower than 325% of the caster's strength, inflicting 2 seconds of stun effects. So again, she is being a damage dealer and stunning the target for 5 seconds, which is quite a long time. We just have to make sure that she is close to the enemies when using this skill, since the distance matters on both the damage and stun she will be giving. So once again, it is kinda common sense saying this, as she's a tank, but remember to keep her in the front row even though she deals damage and all. Now, as for which champion I would suggest, female or male, the male looks promising since he deals damage, buffs allies with strength resistance, and debuffs the enemies. Like, I'm really impressed by his active skill to be honest. But the female on the other hand has a very interesting passive skill which may be OP. I'd say this very much depends on who is in your team, cause there are pluses and minuses on both champs. Me personally, I would want to try out the female due to my own curiosity on if she's OP or not. But if I later find out that she's not as good as she looks, I may give the male a shot instead. But well, the compatibility matters as well. So, we'll see. I don't know if I even want to summon this time. It would be real sucky if the next champions on the banner are meta champions or something like that. You know what? I will soon make a follow-up video to let you all know about my further or new opinions on these champions. Cause I need some more time to think and to properly have a look at this clan. I don't want to accidentally mislead any of you into doing something that is not worth it or that is foolish yada yada. Anyways, this all being said, thank you all so much for watching today's video. Feel free to leave a like, comment below, and do subscribe to the channel if you want to take part in our upcoming giveaways. I hope you all have a wonderful day, and remember to keep watch for the follow-up video. I'll see you in the next one. Take care, stay foxy, adios, bye!